Mounting Queen Victoria's mourning dress, a tale of grief, glamour, and getting Her Majesty back into her skirt. Setting the stage in sad black silk. Welcome to Past People, where we talk about royal gowns, ghost stories, and glorious drama, often all in the same breath. Today we're going full Gothic fashion as we meet an icon in mourning, Queen Victoria's 1892 funeral frock. Yes, we're talking about the mourning dress worn for her dead grandson, lovingly preserved, stitched and padded to perfection by conservators who really deserve their own medals. This is a tale of influenza, industrial whalebone, and one incredibly short queen who never stopped grieving, or being iconic while doing it. So pour your tea, fluff your crinoline, and let's take a long, dramatic sigh into history. Our story begins in 1892. Queen Victoria is 73 years old. She's been ruling longer than most people have been alive, and she is now in her fourth decade of mourning her husband, Prince Albert. Yes, fourth. That's more years of mourning than some of us have been alive. But this dress wasn't for Albert. Nope, it was for her grandson, Prince Albert Victor, Duke of Clarence. He died tragically of influenza, and let's just say the vibes were off for months. Victoria was devastated, and she mourned the way she always did, in all black with layers of textured silk crepe and the emotional energy of a Victorian thunderstorm. Enter the dress. A striking jet black silk taffeta number with mourning crepe that just screams, "Don't speak to me, I'm grieving," elegantly. Let's talk construction, because this is no basic widow's dress. This is regal sadness couture. It's made of black silk taffeta, light-catching, rustling, and just dramatic enough for a monarch in emotional crisis. Over that, mourning crepe. Not just for drama, mourning crepe was an actual social signal. If your dress said crepe, it told the world, yes, I am sad, please don't try to flirt with me at the opera. Inside, the bodice is lined with soft cream silk, and at the waist, baleen boning. That's right, the structure of this dress was provided by the inner parts of a whale. Victoria said, "No waistline shall sag on my watch, thank you." It's hand-finished, machine-sewn, and made to the highest standard. She may have been in mourning, but she wasn't about to skimp on tailoring. And here's the kicker. By this time in her life, Victoria had shrunk to 4'8". Yes, 4'8". She's practically the height of a Regency footstool. But she was still the most powerful woman in the world. Tiny, sad, and still slaying. The dress arrives, fragile with a side of fabulous. Fast forward to 2018. The dress is pulled from storage at the London Museum for a special royal-themed display. But, surprise! It had never been shown before. That's over a century of being folded up, tucked away, and quietly existing in the shadows like a Victorian ghost at a garden party. Enter the textile conservators. Their job: to conserve, mount, and display the dress without causing it to literally fall apart, which is tough, because silk, especially black-dyed Victorian silk, is basically the diva of textiles. It degrades fast, hates light, and will split if you even look at it funny. But shockingly, the dress was in pretty good shape. Almost too good. Cue the suspiciously raised eyebrows. Had Victoria actually worn this much? Turns out, yes. Around the neckline there were telltale signs of wear, probably from royal skin, royal perfume, or possibly just royal sweat. Chic. Fixing a monarch's seams, conservation, chaos. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of conservation, where skilled humans wield curved surgical needles and silk so fine it looks like hair. The neckline? A mess. Loose braid, little splits. So they stabilized it with colour-matched silk crepeline. That's a fancy sheer fabric. They hand-stitched it with hair silk so thin it makes spiders jealous, using a curved surgical needle that glided through the 130-year-old fabric like it was frosting a very sad cake. The waist ties were wrecked. Think shredded ribbons hanging on by a thread. Literally. So they used heat-activated adhesive patches to fix them. Not glue, no. This is textile surgery with heated spatulas at 70 degrees C, baby. Then a bit of stitching for reinforcement, because even dead queens deserve a snatched waist. Now, how do you dress a 4-foot 8-inch ghost empress? Mounting the dress wasn't just about putting it on a mannequin. No. It was an engineering project. They couldn't just slap it on a shop dummy. Oh no, they had to build a Queen Victoria-shaped figure from scratch, starting with a standard UK size 16 mannequin and padding it like a historical sculpture. Measurements were taken from the dress itself. Then came the polyester wadding, stitched and pinned into place. Her famously short neck, cut down. Her hips, padded up. They covered the whole thing in fitted jersey cotton, then added stuffed arms, covered those too. The neck, silk. The arms, silk. Because if you're going to make a mannequin channel Queen Victoria, she deserves the full royal treatment. Let's not forget the bustle. Yes, she had one. Next came the undergarments, or rather, the layers that create the classic silhouette of the late 19th century. Think full skirt, dramatic back, that kind of Victorian silhouette that whispers, I can't sit down, and I like it that way. They built a boned tube skirt, stacked gathered nylon net, and finally added a boned bustle. Because heaven forbid this dress droop mid-exhibition. That would be a royal crisis. After the scaffolding was complete, they layered on a net underskirt, followed by a smooth black silk overskirt. The result? Perfection. Like she had just stepped out of Windsor Castle, sighed dramatically, and ordered tea with an attitude. The final touches, vacuuming a queen. With the dress fully mounted, the final step was a very regal hoover. No, really. They gave it a light vacuum, because even royalty needs a dust-off before their big moment. It took 3 people to lift the mannequin and her dramatic train into the display case. That's 3 mortals carrying one immortal outfit. And there she was, installed, composed, dressed in grief, dignity, and boned silk taffeta, a queen once again. The legacy of a mourning icon. Queen Victoria's mourning dress is more than just black silk. It's a fabric time capsule, a silent scream of grief, a political statement, and a surprisingly well-preserved piece of royal fashion history. Through the hands of skilled conservators and a little help from some surgical tools, polyester wadding, and a whole lot of patience, this gown lives on, not just as a dress, but as a story of mourning, memory, and a monarch who made grief a lifelong outfit. Until next time, keep it royal, keep it ridiculous, and keep it past people.